Okay, good morning, LinkedIn, 11 a.m. EST. You know what's so funny is last week I talked about how the weather was breaking and that spring was coming, and I can't wait to stop wearing black. And here, Sarah and I are both but it's a beautiful day outside in New Jersey today. The weather is getting warmer. I hope that everybody had a great holiday weekend last weekend. If you celebrate Easter, I know this weekend Greek Easter's coming up. We do that in my household as well. So it's a double Easter celebration. And for anybody who was celebrating Passover as well last week. So we at PCG, we're off last Friday, and it's so great for us to be able to, take some time to, be with our families and have the day. And some of us went away. Sarah went to Florida. I went down to Cape May, New Jersey. My family and I stay on a vineyard farm for Easter. It's, really lovely. So that was awesome to do that. So let's just go through some things before we jump in, because today's live is all about PCG Digital and the RV industry. We invited Sarah to be here, who is kind of spearheading this project alongside Brian, Glenn, and myself. She's very involved. So we thought it would be awesome for her to come on to kind of talk about some of the things that we've been doing. So just to recap on some things, we're heading into Digital Dealer. We are about, almost 2 weeks away. And May 9th through 11th, we will be there. And so May 9th is our happy hour. We are still accepting signups to the happy hour. Marissa's going to go ahead and throw the link in there for you again. We sent out an email about it yesterday. If you did get it and you are going to Digital Dealer, please sign up for the happy hour so that we have you on the list. Going to be wonderful. We're going to do, hors d'oeuvres. We're doing open bar, but we just want to be able to, mingle and have a chance to see everybody. My panelists and I will be there, just as a recap. So if you saw us on Jim Ziegler's show a couple weeks ago, that's me, Lori Halter, Hannah Lifson, and April Simmons, and they will be coming live with me here on May 5th, I want to say. The next live we do, I'm going to have my panelists here with me,
Oh,
which is going to
cool.
be awesome. Yeah, yeah, and we're a good time, so that'll be a lot of fun. So Marissa's going to throw in that link. I'm speaking May 9th with this panel. Glenn Pash is speaking May 9th. I am speaking May 10th. Okay. Then the other thing is DMSC is right around the corner, the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. If you have not bought your ticket yet, please secure yourself in this week. And please secure your hotel this week. If you cannot attend with us in person, there is a virtual option as well. Just, reach out to one of us. We will send you the link for that as well. If you have been getting emails from Crystal on our team about signing up for DMSC, definitely do so, because she's got a little discount code in there for you too. So I would take advantage of that, definitely, for sure. So those are our big things that are coming up and in the pipeline at the company. But here we go. Let's pivot. So we are here today to talk about the RV industry and PCG Digital. So PCG Digital through the years has always worked with, RV dealerships. When I first came to the company, I did have an RV dealership in Virginia. This is 2015 we're talking about, and it was a great client to work with. We did a lot of cool things, so we've always worked with RV. But recently what we kind of are realizing is that there is um, a big opportunity for the RV industry to, be educated, to be able to hold their vendors accountable. And if you've followed us for a long time, and if you've followed Brian, we always say you have to hold your vendors accountable, including us. Clients of PCG, you have to hold us accountable. And that's why we educate our clients along the way as to what it is that we're doing. We're very transparent in that aspect. So how have we been doing this? Well, on the back end, we've been speaking at RV meetings, and we have been traveling and forming these partnerships. And we have some great RV dealerships that have partnered with us recently, that believe in what we are trying to achieve, and they want to grow stronger in digital. And there's a couple different scenarios, and I'm going to let Sarah kind of go through all of that. But that's really what we have going on as far as RV goes. And RV customers are a bit unique and different than, of course, an automotive vehicle buyer, which is, exciting for us to, dive in and take on, and even seeing what, the RV customer's journey is like as well. And exploring that with our current RV clients has been, really beneficial. Um, to us. Even events that the RV dealerships are attending or even hosting themselves has been, wonderful to partner with them and market. And it's just a great journey. So this is Sarah Ciociola. She is our paid media director here at PCG. Sarah, how long have you been with the company?
It's going to be 4 years in September.
Holy goodness. 4 years. Sarah and I used to sit next to each other in the old office. Remember that?
Yeah, I used to ask Denise about a million questions a day.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Sarah has, you know, she runs the paid team and the social team. We call it a paid media team now at the company, and the team has grown exponentially this past, year with Sarah, restructuring and reorging the departments, which has been fantastic. But Sarah works very closely, not just with the staff at PCG that she manages, but the clients that are under her staff as well. She is extremely involved. So as far as RV goes, we want to hear from you, Sarah, today. Number one, what is the one thing that you are seeing as far as marketing messages go that are really helping RV dealers right now?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, our team between social and the SEM team are just so excited to be in the RV space because, one, not that it's a new space for us, but it allows us to get our creative juices flowing because, like you just mentioned, an RV buyer is a lot different than a car buyer. So, testing new messages, testing new creative, testing new placements, and us figuring out what works best on the Google side and what works best on the social side. So, we're finding things like, event marketing is a big thing in the RV space that works best on the social side, while more of a branding and a dynamic approach works best on the Google side. And we're constantly restructuring that to have strategies specific to RV. So when an RV
Mhm.
client comes on with us, we're not just giving them all of our auto strategies, we're really tailoring it to their specific industry.
Right, awesome. And what are some of the unique things that you've seen thus far as our partnerships with RV dealerships? Like what has been, some unique approaches that the team has taken?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the big things with PCG and a big part of our culture is education, as I'm sure a lot of people tuning in today know. And with the RV space, a lot of our partnership with these RV dealers is the education piece. Our specialists and our account managers really take the time to walk the RV dealers through exactly what we're doing, exactly what we're executing, what the strategy is, and answering their questions along the way. Brian and I recently spoke to a group of RV dealers back in February, and a big pain point for them was just them not being updated on the Google and Facebook strategies, and also them not really understanding how to walk through the back end.
Right.
Us at PCG, it's really important for us to educate our dealers, whether it's an auto dealer or an RV dealer, to understand exactly what we're doing in the back end. We are not an agency where we're just going in, setting things up and not educating along the way. That's
Right.
really important to me. That's a big piece of why I love PCG so much. And I think our RV dealers really benefit from that.
Absolutely. And, at the core of our culture is education,
Mhm.
for our employees, for our clients, and for our, industry partners as well. So Sarah did go out and speak with Brian at a recent RV meeting. And, Sarah, some of the feedback that we got from that was just, fantastic.
Mhm.
Your knowledge on social media. Also, a lot of them, received Brian's hyperlocal marketing book, and they've been reaching out saying we read the book and we've optimized our Google business profiles, which has been fantastic. And I just said prior to a potential client I was on the phone with, they said, we started listening to Brian years ago, and it's what got me into digital marketing. And I think that that's one of the best compliments that we can honestly get as a
Mhm.
company is, how our education and teaching is, definitely furthering people no matter what business they work at. So that's,
Mhm.
wonderful. So last week I talked about our TAB process at PCG, our technology assessment and build, because we have a very intricate 2-week startup process when somebody signs on with us at the company. It's not just things turn on right away. No, we need to understand your brand, your culture, your clients, get things in there, organize it. Sarah, how has our tab process been really beneficial to the RV industry so far?
What's really unique about our tab process, other than just the execution of getting everything set up, is that our specialists are specialists in their craft. So, a social specialist, an SEO specialist, content specialist, Google specialist. That's what we know. And the RV group, their marketing coordinator, their GM, whoever our main point of contact is, knows their brand. And we come together and we take their brand and we take our skills and we create really solid strategies for these clients where they are really, really involved. We're not an agency that just goes and puts up ads and what we think is best is good. And then we send a report and, there's no other communication. We are constantly working with our dealers to make sure that their brand is executed in a way that makes sense with what we know works best on the strategy side.
Hmm.
So in terms of the tab, we really hound in on making sure that our RV dealers own all of their stuff. So
Yes.
we're not going to come in and own their Facebook pixel and own their Google Ads account and own their Facebook ads account. And then if they choose to leave, then we just keep everything and now they have to start from scratch. We're partners with you. We're an extension of your team. We don't ever want our RV dealers to think that we're just taking all of their stuff and then, keeping it. And if, like I said, if they choose to leave, then they don't get any of it back. So a big part
Right.
of our tab process is making sure that we are walking them through the startup process. It's not so much we're setting up the pixel, we're setting up the ad account, we're setting up the Google account. It's, hey, let's hop on a screen share and I'll walk you through what to send to your web developer to update the Facebook pixel and how to aggregate your events and how to install the Google Analytics script onto your website and set up your goals correctly. We're really walking them through every single step so they're just as educated as we are by the time we're finished with it.
I mean, you explained that so eloquently and great, and oh, fantastic. Again, it's one of those things where, you know, partnering at PC with PCG is you're going to really, understand what's happening. You're going to own your stuff. Um, that's what's most important at the end of the day. It is your data if we're
Mhm.
creating audiences for you. And, we want you to have that. So, that's Sarah explained that so, beautifully. And that's how we operate with any client that we work with at PCG. So, going back to our education and our resources. So, through the weeks, we've talked about some of the resources that we've had coming up. So, we have a new resource for the RV industry right now that is live. Marissa's going to go ahead and put that link um, in the chat. And this is for the RV industry and their Google business profiles. And it's talking about the categories that are available to the RV industry for sales, service, parts, bang, 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 big ones. Your Google business profile is your number one source of free organic traffic, my good RV dealer friends, and it is properly optimized. It can really lead some great customers to your website. And this resource is going to show you exactly how to do that. So, as far as resources go, Sarah, what is another resource that we currently have out there that is so beneficial to RV dealers that Marissa can go ahead and pop that one in the chat as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just released a TikTok playbook that has just been super
Oh,
engaged with between the RV industry and the auto industry.
yes.
We have a client that we train in the RV space. So we're training their marketing person to execute Facebook ads correctly, Instagram ads correctly, look over all of their Google ads. And they came to us and were like, we want to explore another social platform. Do you recommend Snapchat? Do you recommend TikTok? How can we get started? And that to me is just music to my ears that people are now starting to think about other social platforms because yes, you need to be on Facebook and Instagram, but there's so much more to social than there was even just 2 years ago. So we created this TikTok playbook as a resource for RV dealers to create organic strategies. And if they choose to execute paid ads on the TikTok platform, we are piloting a lot of our clients, and then we can also have then refer to the playbook for them to go through all of the steps to execute it on their own.
So let's talk about TikTok for a second. So we at PCG are not going to tell somebody to just be on something because it's available, right? And when it came to TikTok, your team, Chloe, was one of the, ones that kind of took over that project. And
Mhm.
we wanted to see, is it beneficial for our clients to be on TikTok? That's how we operate as a company. And from her studies, from her research, yep, it is beneficial for RV, automotive, and other industries to be on TikTok. So social team has put together this great playbook. Marissa's going to throw it in the chat. I highly recommend taking a peek. And like Sarah said, we right now are piloting TikTok advertising with couple are auto dealers and an RV dealer as well. So
Mhm.
once we have all of that knowledge and we're very close, we're going to be offering TikTok advertising as a service at PCG. So this is why also from a leadership standpoint, you need good people working with you at your company because I am not on TikTok. I am 34 years old. I can't believe that I'm considered older at this point. Um, I'm only Instagram really, that's, and I do a lot of shopping on Instagram too, like we've talked about, and I do a lot of branding research for different, clothing stores and hotels, and we've talked about that. That's how I like to utilize it. So I'm gonna have to possibly probably get on TikTok soon, and I'm finding, even though my child is only a year and a half. So I'm not in a range where a parent, like my child has a smartphone, of course, but I'm finding that a lot of parents are on TikTok to follow what their kids are doing and seeing what they're doing. And it's so funny because I remember when Facebook first came out, and this is God really, aging myself here. You needed an EDU address to have a Facebook back then. It was only for college students.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh Lord. Yeah. So you needed EDU. So my sister went to Boston University. She was one of the first people to have a Facebook because when Zuckerberg created it, it was for Harvard, Boston University, and one other school. So my sister Christine was one of the first to have it.
Oh, that's
You
really
needed an
cool.
EDU address. And by the time I went to college, it was the same thing. And I'll never forget being a senior in high school. And we all were saying, I can't wait to get to college so I can get a Facebook account. And
Oh,
it was solely used back then to connect with people at your school. And that was that.
hmm.
Or see, what your siblings or friends were doing at other colleges. That was it. There was no parents on Facebook. There was no brand. Actually, I wrote in my book years ago, the first brand ever on Facebook was Victoria's Secret, and they started with a Facebook group. And what Facebook realized was that they could do posts in there and look at me. I'm like, Victoria's Secret could pay Facebook a certain amount of money per post, and that's how advertising started on the platform.
That is really cool. I didn't even know that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So then when they opened up Facebook, the first thing that happened was all the moms and dads jumped on Facebook to see what their children were doing at college. And
Hmm.
I was a junior in college when that opened up. And when you're a junior in college, you're starting to go on spring break. And all of a sudden, all of us were getting phone calls about the photos that we all had in our albums and this and that. And our parents were like, oh my goodness, is this what's going on at school? So, tale as old as time, here we go again, that now parents are utilizing TikTok to see what their kids are doing. So, there are different generations on TikTok platform is the point that
Hmm.
I'm trying to get at right now. And don't think, we talked to somebody the other day, Sarah, you were on the call that said, I don't think that that's our target audience or our market because everybody's thinking that it's only young people that are on the platform and it's not. And you'll
Mhm.
see that in the TikTok playbook too. Sarah, final thoughts for the RV industry, please.
Final thoughts. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, our team is super excited because we are able to kind of enter new creative doors in terms of RV. RV is a very fun industry, and we are fine tuning our strategies as we go along. So, why it's really important to partner with an agency like PCG for an RV dealer is because we are going to continue to fine tune our strategies while you're going to continue to fine tune your brand. And then we work together as a team in that aspect as kind of like your marketing team. Like I mentioned, we're just an extension of your marketing team. We're not a vendor. That's how I like to train our specialists. That's, kind of like the core culture of PCG. So the education piece is super important and something that we're going to always offer our clients. And we're going to always say, hey, here's a new update. We're going to update probably the TikTok playbook in 6 months because things are going to change. If there's, a new update with Google, we're going to update our clients right away. So making sure that they are taking the time at their RV dealership to really hound in on the brand and make sure that they are organically present on the platforms that we are recommending to them while we fine tune our paid strategies and just work hand in hand with them.
Perfect. Awesome. And I just want to say to anybody that's watching that has a 20 group that is involved in some sort of group where you are looking for digital marketers to come and speak to you, or even if you are hosting a conference, a digital marketing conference, or involved in one, Sarah is a very skilled educator. Very skilled. She, can talk about a wide range of marketing, from social media marketing to content marketing to Google AdWords. She's jumping in right now. We have a lot coming up with GA4, more on that in the coming months. But Sarah is a very skilled educator. And if you are looking for somebody to come and speak to your group, please reach out to her. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I had fun.
Awesome. Cool. So if you need anything, reach out. Please download the resources on in the chat. And if you do have a digital sales advisor reaching out to you, please take them up on, having a conversation with one of us about your digital marketing. I highly recommend it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day.